Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I connect Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. And I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader weekly broadcast. I am Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend is going great. We're going to talk about the market. I'm going to go over my swing ideas. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. If you're new to our channel and haven't done so, please be sure to download a free copy of my ebook. Link for that is in the description below. Also, if you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions for us, leave a comment or email us info@t3live.com. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I got asked maybe on Friday whether the market has basically turned back to bullish or not, because the bounce was pretty impressive last week. Here's the weekly chart of the Qs. Here's the weekly chart of the SPY, weekly chart of the IWM. Okay, so we had a pretty nice bounce, especially on the SPY. That looks really pretty actually. I was not expecting the Qs to close above the 20 on the weekly chart, but am I ready to say, you know, back to bullish? No, not really. We have to see how the market deals with the conflict. What's the conflict that I'm talking about? It's that conflict between the daily time frame. Notice the 20 period moving average is pointing down, and the rising 20 on the weekly chart. So bullish weekly, still bearish daily. So how do we deal with it? Does the market come back in and continue lower? Like so, let's just say. Do we go back, continue higher, and then continue higher and maybe base or pull back a little bit? What if we moved up a little bit and then based and then broke out? So no way to know. But for now, we have to wait and see what the market basically does. Do we go back up and maybe base or pull back a little bit, and the 20 MA on the daily chart starts to point up, to curve up, right, and be in and go in alignment with the weekly? Or does the market come back in and that weekly bar, the green bar, gets negated? No way to know. Every week I come on the mic and I tell you exactly what my game plan is, what my bias is. In this case, you have to wait and see. That conflict between the daily and the weekly has to be resolved first before we can tell for sure whether this was just a short-term drop or whether there's more to come, as I suspect there is. You know, whether this is it or there's more to come. We'll find out together, but for now, it's day by day. It's wait for that alignment. Be on the lookout for cues from the market, basically. Okay? All right, in terms of the swing ideas, I have a really long list in the description, in the video description. I picked a few to go over here, but basically I'm trying to be non-aggressive or not aggressive because of that conflict. But I have a lot of good ideas. It's just that I don't want to push it because I told you the daily is pointing down, the weekly is pointing up, the 20 period moving average. So I have to be very cautious in the next couple of days until I have a better idea which way the market is headed. So here's what I decided to share with you is go over with you is the GDRX, because look at that monthly chart. That is a thing of beauty. Notice the 20 on the monthly. So I really like it a lot. Do I think it's ready to go? You know, I don't think so. I don't think this is going to be a great swing idea, but it's a great long-term watch. So for that reason, put it on your watch list and keep an eye on it, because I like the monthly. If you like it as is, which I don't, then the entry is right here, stop is right here. Okay, it looks to be about a 90-cent stop or a $1 stop. GTES, what a beauty in terms of how bullish it is. The market came in a lot. This thing based at the highs. So I like it over the base, right? Over the highest point in the base, whatever it is. Stop under this base, okay? So that's how I like the GTS. If I had, I get that question frequently, that give me your best long-term idea. I don't usually have a best long-term idea. I have a bunch of ideas that I'm watching closely that I think are worth a watch, right? I'm looking to the right because I'm watching crypto. But if I had to pick one US stock that's not too late yet to get into, it would be Robinhood. Probably. Look at that monthly. This is like the GDRX, but the GDRX hasn't bounced yet, and a lot of them end up not bouncing. Example would be the W, right? I was watching it to go higher, it didn't go. I was watching the ARC to go higher, it didn't go. I wasn't watching Zillow to go high. You see what I mean? So a lot of times they end up not transitioning. This one did already. We played it in the newsletter, and it was a really nice trade, but unfortunately I trailed out of under 1750 or whatever that was. I thought it was 1750, probably 1780 or so. Okay, so I'm out of it, and I'm dying to get back in it because the monthly looks amazing. The weekly has a buy setup, so I can use that buy setup to my advantage over 1826 by 1646 long. Now the issue is, it's, you know, that's a big stop, but that's okay because it too has conflicting time frames between the daily, which is declining 20, and the weekly, which is rising 20. So I don't think it's gonna be ready to rock and roll right away, but I do like the weekly enough that I am going to try it if it takes out 1830 or so, stop under 1646, and we'll look to add to the position over time. Okay, but I like the Robinhood a lot. The JAGX is more of a day trade and is a penny stock over the base, which is 19 cents or so. Stop can be right here. Target 125. I'm not sure what target 2 would be, but target 1 would be 25 cents. Looks beautiful on the daily and more so on the hourly chart. Check out that hourly. So about 20 cents. I thought it was 19 is what I saw. Stop under 15. Again, looks beautiful. The JAGX. The PI is a 1, 2, 3. I have a lot of 1, 2, 3 setups. The problem is, because I'm not too sure about the market over the coming couple of days, you know, I'm not going to play them with the exception of the PI, because this has a big bottoming tail, a wide stop, which is unlikely to get taken out or shaken out due to volatility in the market. So that's what I like about the PI. It's also probably, is it at all-time high? It's probably at all-time high. So there's no resistance. It's really bullish. Over this bar's high, stop under the red bar's low. Speaking of long-term trades, this is a symbol that a room member actually gave me. Most of the plays, like 99% of them, I find through my own scanning. But this came up in the room last week, maybe Friday actually, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised I wasn't aware of it. But I know why I didn't catch it during my scanning is because it doesn't do a ton of volume. So I usually limit my my watch list to 500,000 shares per day or more. So this average is probably about 200, 300, not sure. But this is an amazing long-term setup as well. Over 11.15, stop under I think $8. So 11.15 by $8. That's a $3 stop. It's a big stop. But guess what? It's got a nice healthy target, $20 for target 1. So I like it a lot. Again, two things: large stop, which means you can't have that much size, and illiquid, not very liquid. So, you know, just be mindful. But I like it higher long term. The VFF, that's a nice monthly. But it's not just the VFF. There's other cannabis stocks that look good. This one right now looks the best. Okay, I was in the CGC, got out on Friday on that pop. I was in the ACB also, got out on the pop. VFF, not too bad now because it's been basing for a while. Maybe over that bar's high, stop down here. So it's a big stop, but it's also okay to hold long term. The VFF. I always gravitate towards long-term holds or long-term plays because when they work, you know, you can double your money, triple your money. You're not looking to get out in a matter of a day or two or three, like Oscar. You know, this is a nice long-term play. Of course, it's late. That I got in on this day. Actually, I got in on this day, and then I got stopped out and got back in it on this day, right? And I'm now back in it. So, you know, Disney, I think is a really nice long-term play. But when was the entry? Back here. So we already trailed out of half. I don't know, maybe Tesla now bottom, but Tesla, if you're not in it from before the earnings jump, it's kind of late because it's got too much resistance. I wouldn't really chase it. There are some also gold and energy stocks that look good long term, but a lot of them are already up a lot. So let's take a look at, oops, that's crypto. We'll talk about crypto in a minute. Let's take a look at GLD. That looks good. I don't like the fact that it's doing a buy setup. This is a pullback on the daily chart, but the pullback happened through a gap, so it's not as bullish as if it had dropped multiple bars in a row. I can't explain every concept that I come up with, that I mention, that I talk about, that I bring up, because it would take me too much time. But basically, when a stock sells off with multiple bars, you're using up sellers. So whereas when it gaps, you're not using up any sellers at all. In fact, you're trapping people. So when the stock, or GLD in this case, pops, a lot of these people that are trapped because GLD gapped, they woke up and they were now sitting on losing positions, they get out. And so it's not as good as if it had pulled in through, you know, a 3 or more bar pullback. But do I like it higher? I do. Does it look higher, which means is it indicative, you know, is it a good idea to look for stocks within the gold sector? I think so. So I have a whole list in the video description. There's like 15 of them that I really like. It's not just gold, it's also other metals, and there are industrial stocks that look good. There are oil stocks that look good. So I have a list of gold stocks. I have a list of energy stocks. But here's a couple of gold and silver. I guess I picked one gold, one silver. AGI, because it's a big stop, so it's unlikely to be able to get shaken out of it. Long over the base right here, stop under the bottoming tail, right? There's tighter stops, but those are easier to get shaken out of. The MAG is a tight stop, and this would be more of a swing trade as a 1-2-3 play over 1325 by 1272. Okay, that's one gold, one silver, but there's a lot more in the description. Again, energy stocks look really good. I have several in the video description, but here's a couple. I think NRG is actually utility. Is it? I think it's a utility. Looks higher, and then this looks really good also over the base. Whatever the highest point is, stop under the pivot. Okay, there's a bunch more. Check them out in the description if you're interested. In terms of the bearish ideas, almost every single play is a 1-2-3. A 1-2-3 is when you have an igniting bar. Let's say you have a base and a breakdown and then a narrow range bar that closes within the bottom third of the first bars, the breakdown bars range. So if it continues lower, you short it under that bar's low, stop above the narrow range bar's low. So most of the ideas here, if not all, are 1-2-3. So this would be short under this bar's low, stop above it, that BioMarin. Gap down on earnings and then crashed. Looks lower. BMY, 1-2-3, looks beautiful. Short under 43.34, stop over 45.37. Great. COGT. COGT is a beauty, but the only issue is the support below. Otherwise, it tried to go higher and failed. So now let's bet on it short. But there's that support, so that's the issue with it. But I do like it lower still. The FAF, beautiful. Short under this bar's low, stop above it. 53.90 by 55.10. GGG, same thing. You got it. Under this bar's low, stop above it. So, you know, more and more. And this one has a nice hourly base, HTZ. So it's just short under the lows, stop above. Okay? So it's the same stuff. You know, there's more. I have more items in the video description also. Guild is a 1-2-3. I mean, there's a lot of 1-2-3 setups. Check them out in the video description. I picked a couple for myself and for the newsletter, and I picked a couple from the longs also. for the newsletter. If you're a subscriber to the Strategic Swing Trader, feel free to log on to your T3 Live account, and you'll be able to see which symbols I picked for tomorrow. But as soon as I have clarity over the market, I'll be able to be more aggressive, basically. So, you know, just hang tight, hold on to the money for now, until we have more clarity in the market. I was going to mention also ETHE is probably not a bad watch. It doesn't look ready on the daily chart. The weekly is good. That's the Grayscale Ethereum fund. Weekly is good. The daily is not quite ready. But if you look at the Ethereum, it triggered a weekly buy setup. This week. Like today or yesterday, triggered the weekly buy setup. If you look at the daily chart, the 20 MA is still pointing down. So I don't think that's quite ready. But keep an eye on Ethereum. It looks the best out of the, you know, Bitcoin is, the only problem is Bitcoin doesn't look good. It actually looks lower. So it might drag everything else down with it. But I think out of the major coins, Bitcoin looks the best. And that's it. And BNB, but that's not a major coin. But, you know, I love the BNB. I'm in it. It's the Binance coin. Anyways, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you have, be sure to hit the like button. Reach out with any questions, info@t3live.com. And make sure to subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.